Mastercard versus crypto. Today we're going to be doing a breakdown on payments and why this might be something to watch very closely. Let's just get right into it. Before we do that, a word from our sponsors. And this is a special offer for you guys. OKX is running an exclusive affiliate offer where you can earn up to $500 in XRP rewards just by hitting a few simple milestones. Step 1, Tier 1, you can complete the KYC. You get $10 in XRP. If you go to Step 2, which is $100 on a deposit, you get another $40. Then you can bump that deposit and trade volume of just $1,000 and you grab an additional $100 in XRP. Best of all, for the heavy hitters out there, if you deposit and trade 10 grand, you can unlock a massive $350 XRP reward. This stacks onto all of this, so boom, you get up to $500 max earning, and it's paid directly out in XRP. So click the link down below. You guys are not wanting to miss this one. It is an awesome one. All right, something big happened today, and that is in reference to agentic payments within the Mastercard ecosystem. It goes into some intriguing partners. Coinbase is in there. Of course, we see Polygon, Rain, Ripple, and many others, including Solana, also tied into this. Tempo, you can kind of see. All right, so let me go to a clip real quick. This is actually an ad that got into their launch about agentic pay. Take a look.
Mastercard Agent Pay for machines. It's a credentialed multi-rail service where only authorized participants can operate. And smart on-chain contracts are used to permission and control each agent's ability to spend. Settlement of resulting payment obligations is guaranteed by Mastercard across any rail, currency, or format. Permissioned, transparent, and reliable. Priceless.
Keywords there, guys. Permissioned. First of all, didn't really mention that this was going to restructure how fees or merchant costs are going to go down. This didn't really change the way we're going to see access. And the reason that I think they're doing this is because the growth that we're continuing to see within these crypto cards. If you look over on Dune, you can kind of see the growth right here. It's absolutely going just crazily skyrocketing high here. Red Dot leading the way. Then of course you have EtherFi, Gnosis, MetaMask, Big Get Card, etc. Point being is that this is going vertical in terms of growth, and I think that is why we're going to continue to see Mastercard pushing in this direction. All of these are partnered with Visa right now. There's Red Dot, 130 million merchants. There's Sonic, which is powered by Red Dot infrastructure. There's EFI Cash, also Visa. You can kind of see the network's already integrated into all of these crypto cards as we see them right now. And for many of you that have tried some of these crypto cards, you probably understand one thing, and that is that there is a KYC element into it. So it isn't necessarily a complete freedom component that many people thought we would see in crypto. Other things that are happening, though, that might go down the more open network route is what's going on with WalletConnect. And if you look at what's happening here, Solana, of course, talking about this, WalletConnect Pay is now live on Solana. And this is all QR code. If you'll notice there, I'll zoom in on that a little bit. That is a QR card, even that is Euro payments. This is starting to integrate into point of sale. Now, point of sale has a little bit of a threshold or a moat that you have to get through to be able to get to the retailers. One of the key moats that are out there is a company called Ingenico. Well, Ingenico now is launching a digital currency solution in partnership with, guess who? WalletConnect. This is a big deal because it starts to go into the very layer of where payments occur. And I'm talking about retail payments, not online payments. When you go out, you get coffee, you go to the restaurant, you go to a bar, you go wherever you're spending hard cards or cash, that is what you're going to look at in terms of growth. If you look at the hardware, because all of these companies have to have hardware to process those, the key thing here is that Ingenico has 25% of US installations. Now, the way this works, it's the payment layer that lives on top of these point of sale. That's what POS stands for, point of sale hardware. And there's a handful of companies that they're connected into. And then those companies, of course, have all these brands, everything from a McDonald's to Outback Steakhouse, you name it. Those companies are integrated in through these kind of things. So having a payment solution that connects to WalletConnect that could circumvent the whole idea of transaction fees, this is for the merchant, but eventually for you, because it's going to lower cost. That, of course, is a huge potential opportunity here. So I want to go to the WalletConnect CEO because she talks a little bit about how this could be a huge unlock. Take a look.
For me, cards are a little bit transitionary. It doesn't necessarily solve the merchant side issue. For merchants, they get settled on the same timeline, and they also pay the same card-based transaction fees that they do today. And this is why a lot of merchants are actually really interested in moving away from cards, because everybody is searching for those few extra basis points on their payment flows. Again, this user experience has to be great. And in some places in the world, the QR code is a really familiar form factor. If you go to Southeast Asia, that's a predominant kind of payment interaction. Obviously in the US, certainly here in the EU, this like tap functionality is what everybody is used to. So that's one of the reasons we've also been iterating, and later this year we'll start to roll out tap so that
nice.
All right, so what Jess was talking about there was in reference to the rollout on tap to pay. That of course is a US and Euro kind of scenario in terms of behavior, retail behavior. One thing she did mention though, I think is more important, is that I think she maybe discounted the idea of the value, because when you look at merchant services right now that MasterCard collects on every retail transaction, online or in real life, you could see fees ranging from, the select fees around or I should say 1.8%, all the way up to almost 4%. That's for, people that maybe don't do a lot of transactions. The point being is that those retailers take that on the front, and they're doing it on almost every transaction today because cash is getting less and less being used. Now, what you've got is kind of a situation right now that's boiling into almost a two-payment system, because you've got debit card, credit cards. All of these are starting to cause a lot of trouble. And I think for the retail side of things, if they get wind that we could see a reduction in fees, think about this. Most retailers doing anywhere between 300,000 and multi-millions a year that are mostly going through credit cards. That fee is getting in to that very top, and it's a top line fee. It's not like on profits or anything. For many of these companies, this would be a huge differentiation in profit, which means cutting prices to you. If you look at some of the things that they're exploring, WalletConnect is exploring fees, not for users, but for apps that derive value from the network. So that would be a different angle on this. Fees are still very discovery phase. Right now it's zero. Fees are also paid in WCT, that's the token. This is going to be interesting to watch. How do they develop this down the road? If you look at their token, because right now they're not going back into the token itself, I would look at this because this would be one that potentially, if they ever started collecting fractions of fees, you have to remember that this is multi-trillions of dollars in retail fees, retail services, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars just in fees that are going out there worldwide in terms of the retail sector. Imagine that into a token, especially if you're a token holder. So that's a big one. Here, of course, is Vitalik talking about this, what I'd love to see in a wallet. And he's talking about user experience, and that really what he's talking about is that you could really just use wallets as the solution, that WalletConnect may not necessarily be needed. If that is right, and I'll explain why I think that might not necessarily be the right way, but if it was right, then you're going to have companies like Phantom that are going to win, Tangents, the physical hardware wallets, all the software wallets that are out there are going to win, MetaMask, etc. And when you think about that, because remember, Phantom's still only founded in 2021, guys. That's 4 years ago. Can you imagine that? 4 years ago, post-money valuation setting at around $3 billion. That was as 2025. That's probably up, I would think, somewhere around $4 billion now, even though we're seeing a dip, and especially around wallets that make UX the main thing. And of course, Phantom, I think, does a good job with it. But you're going to see others going into this. Here, of course, is Consensus going into it right here. And this, of course, compares to what's been happening with their valuation, almost $7 billion right now. I don't know if you guys can see that there. But point being is that this opens up an investment layer for a lot of Wall Street types. And one of the people that I think kind of looks at this is, of course, Cathie Wood. If you go to ARK Invest and on her layer, you can kind of see her retail play, but most of it has been kind of more on the retail side that is known. Shopify is in there, Block, etc. Toast, of course, that's a point of sale system right there, Amazon. I don't know. I think this may be something that they don't have exposure to just yet, especially if WalletConnect is good enough to get this done and does start to create some sort of revenue model, this will be a big one to keep an eye on. WalletConnect right now, $1 trillion in daily network volume. That's coming all because almost every wallet out there in terms of crypto wallet is using WalletConnect. But the key here is 16 nodes right there. 16 nodes, 188,000 connections. This, of course, gets into a concern that I think has to be risen, and that is that network needs to expand. If that does expand and node operators are benefiting from this, then there's your solution of how this could really go head to head with something like a Mastercard or Visa. If you look at stablecoins, because that's going to be the center of what's going to be utilized within all of these transaction layers, including retail, and as we see more of the Genius Act roll out and the potential of clarity getting in, then you're going to see an explosion on stablecoin usage. Right now it's setting at about 297 billion, but overall 53 million monthly active addresses. Imagine that's probably going to 10x. Holders most likely also going to 10x. And if you look at the winners right here, it is Solana and Ethereum right now. So if you just look at the winners by blockchain that will apply into this payments ecosystem, at least right now in the early stages, these two might be the ones to watch. All right, so in conclusion here, guys, of what this news was really about, I think is more of a marketing thing. I don't think this has any bearing to Mastercard doing anything different. They're just trying to figure out a way to continue to extract from the and I'm talking about the retail ecosystem out there. Until it's proven otherwise, I think this is just a nothing burger. I don't know if any of this is going to matter. What I do think, though, is the something burger is that payments are coming to crypto and they're coming fast. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and also join our free private member group. The link is in the description.